Hi guys, thank you so much for being here and I really do hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking to you about constructing a bushcraft chair, and this is going to be a chair that can be left in situ at a permanent or semi-permanent campsite, or simply leaving it in your favourite part of the woods so that you have somewhere to rest. And you can really leave it there. It doesn't matter if it gets destroyed or someone steals it, because it uses 3 pieces of 3-meter lengths of cordage. So if you lose it, it doesn't really cost that much money, but it means that you can get to a site or an area that you're familiar with and have a nice sit down. I'll show you how to construct it. Apart from the 3 meters of cordage, you're going to need 3 poles about the length that you are. So for me, this is around sort of 5-6 foot. 3 of those would be great, and you need them to be fairly strong, so you don't want them to be completely dead and rotten. These things are going to be supporting your weight. You can use an axe or a saw to chop these pieces of wood down, but these are 3 pieces of wood that I've managed to find in my woodland here that didn't require any chopping down. They were just dead fall, or they've just broken off in some violent storms, and they're still strong enough to support my weight, so they're perfect for that use. So the 2 shortest pieces of wood are going to be used to construct an A-frame, like so, and they're going to be lashed into place along the top, and then the longest piece of wood is going to go across the bottom section, forming almost a triangle, and that bit that goes across, that's going to be your seat. So I'm going to show you how to lash these together. While you don't need to do this, I would suggest trying to use your situation and what you have at hand in order to get the most stability. So this piece of wood here, I've got resting against this tree as well, and there's a little notch here that I've been able to wedge into one of the deep bark fissures here, like the scale of the tree, just to give extra support for when I lash these together. So once you're ready to begin, secure everything so that it doesn't move as much as possible. It is fairly difficult to do on the first piece. You're going to do a timber hitch, so bring the rope around the back or the cordage. You're going to cross around as though you're going to do a regular knot, but instead you're just going to keep wrapping that cord. See, it doesn't want to stay in place, and you're just going to keep wrapping around like that, and then you're just going to pull to tighten all of that up as much as possible, and your timber hitch will hold. That will give us our first piece of connection. Now we're going to start the diagonal lashing, but before we begin the diagonal lashing, you've got your old working end here and your standing end here. It's literally going to come around a few times like so, pulling it tight each and every time. And we can do that 2 or 3 times, and pulling tight again, and then we switch over to come over the top and then go horizontally, again pulling nice and tight, and one more time. Now that that's happened, we're going to do a process called frapping, which essentially is an in and out weave that tightens all of these existing lashes that we've just made up. So simply go under and over, pulling tight each time. Under, so we've gone under here, pulling tight again, and again. Now we're going to use a clove hitch to finish off, and the clove hitch, I was going to try and do it on this one, but I'm not sure if you can see this one. The clove hitch, if you don't know it, goes around like so, and underneath to form a regular style loop. Tightening it up all the time. And then you're going to go around once more and back through with just enough left over to really pull that clove hitch tight. And as you can see, that is fairly stable, so that can now be rested up against the tree. Now that this is nice and steady, it really is steady and sturdy, I want to lash this piece across here, and where it meets the existing parts of the A-frame, it will be the exact same lashing method, and I'll go through it again just to make sure that everyone fully understands the method to do that. You'll notice that as this is going to be the seat, there is a natural bow occurring here. I think that will make a nice piece of seat, so I'll make sure that's in the middle. Now this is a tricky part because I have everything in position. If I let go, this will just fall to the floor. So the best way to do that is to place a leg there and just pinch it exactly where you want it, and not too tightly. It's kind of a balancing act, but just allow that to sit gently against your leg. Now I'm going to come over here and begin the first timber hitch. I'll brought you in a bit closer so that it should be a bit easier to understand. First of all, we're going to do the timber hitch, so we're coming in underneath. And once you've come in underneath, you're going to cross over and go back underneath to form essentially a loop. And if you were to pull tight, you would just have a standard loop, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep working around, making coils like so. Essentially it's a friction knot, and then when you've done a few of those, simply pull tight and they all begin to move together. There we go. And now we're going to start to just go round, and we're just going to go twice around. Once, that's twice. I got my working end caught on something then. And then we're going to go horizontally twice as well. So one, oh, I see what's happened here. One, two. What had happened is that the wood here is pinching, and now we're going to begin frapping again. Frapping is going to go around, interleaving between the woods, just like this. And when you're doing it, just pulling really tight. Essentially, it's bringing in all of the slack that goes in between the pieces of rope. There we go. And now for the clove hitch, going over the piece of wood and back through the loop underneath as a regular, the start of many regular knots. Going over again to this side, to the left, back under, and pulling tight. You can tell the classic clove hitch because you get the crossover pattern there. Okay, now that side's done. We're going to do the exact same over on this side. The great thing is we don't have to balance it anymore because it's barely moving anyway. So once that's done, our chair will be ready. And there you go. This is the Bushcraft A-frame chair ready to go. I'll give you a look at it. There we go. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating, they say. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good. There's a bit of settling obviously when you first move down because the weight pushes everything into place, pushes the wood into the ground and pushes you against the tree, but that is extremely comfortable. Very, very nice. Ooh. And if I wanted to put my legs out, do a bit of a recline, can do that too. That's lovely. Great a little bit of an armrest, ponder about the world and all of the things that are beautiful or wonderful in it. Great. I think I'll leave this here till the next time that I visit, so I've got a nice handy chair ready for when that time comes. Yeah, very pleased. Oh, and I nearly forgot, these things are kind of portable. You can pick them up and move them around. You can actually also put them on a different angle and tie in some fabric if you wanted to have this area as a seat. If you have it on a bit more of an angle as well, it can be a great impromptu sort of outdoor toilet, if you will. You just dig your sort of hole underneath and it gives you somewhere to sit out in the wild. You may even decide that you've positioned your chair in the wrong place. Perhaps you haven't got quite the sunniest spot or the best view. No problem. Simply pick it up and move it to the next place that's going to give you the best view in the forest. So you now have the knowledge to make your own bushcraft chair, your bushcraft bench. You can make them as long as you want. It's a great thing to keep in mind, and it just requires cordage, which you can even make out of natural materials, so you can make this 100% natural. If for whatever reason I haven't been exactly 100% clear about any of the lashings or the knots, do let me know in the comment section below, and I will endeavour to clear things up if I need to in the first place. Thank you so much for being here, and until the next video, take care. Bye bye now.